When Mojo first appeared in 2023, the promise was almost irresistible. Python had conquered artificial intelligence, data science, automation, education, and vast parts of scientific computing. But its greatest strength had also become its weakness. Python made it easy to express an idea, while the heavy work underneath, libraries such as NumPy and PyTorch, was usually pushed into C, C++, CUDA, or some other faster language. Modular, the company founded by compiler engineers Chris Latner and Tim Davis, wanted to collapse those worlds into one. Mojo would look like Python, work with Python, and eventually become a full superset of Python, while giving programmers the control normally associated with C++ and Rust. Latner described the attraction plainly. Hundreds of millions of programmers already understood Python, so building on its syntax meant developers would not have to begin again from zero. But hidden inside that elegant pitch was a problem that would become harder to ignore as Mojo matured. The closer Mojo came to becoming a serious systems language, the more difficult it became to behave exactly like Python. The change is visible in Modular's own language. Early descriptions said Mojo would grow into a superset of Python, with existing Python idioms eventually working directly inside the language. Today, Modular describes Mojo as a systems programming language with Pythonic syntax and deep Python interoperability, built to target CPUs, GPUs, and other accelerators. Its current roadmap goes further and says that Mojo may or may not eventually become a full Python superset, and that this is acceptable. That is not simply a marketing rewrite. It reflects a deeper question about what Mojo actually has to be good at. Modular now uses Mojo itself as a production foundation for Macs and Modular Cloud, and Mojo 1.0 arrived in August 2026 as a stable language foundation rather than as a completed implementation of Python. The priority became clearer. First, make Mojo coherent, safe, fast, and powerful enough to stand on its own. Python compatibility would remain important, but it could no longer be allowed to dictate every architectural decision. The first conflict is ownership, a word that sounds abstract until memory has to be controlled precisely. In ordinary Python, programmers rarely think about which variable owns a particular region of memory, or exactly when that memory must disappear. Objects live behind references, CPython manages their lifetimes, and programmers are usually protected from questions that a C++ or Rust programmer must confront directly. Mojo cannot afford that distance from the machine because it wants to write the low-level code Python normally delegates to other languages. Mojo therefore gives every native value an owner, tracks references to that value, and determines when destruction is safe. A mutable reference is also exclusive, preventing another reference to the same value from quietly interfering with it while mutation occurs. These rules help prevent use-after-free errors, double freeze, invalid references, and other failures that become dangerous when software is controlling memory directly. Python's flexible object model was designed for a different bargain, one in which runtime freedom matters more than exposing exact ownership relationships to the compiler. Trying to make both models behave identically is rather like building a hotel where every guest may change rooms whenever they please, while simultaneously requiring the front desk to know the exact occupant of every room before anyone moves. Static typing creates the next fracture. Python allows a name to refer to an integer at one moment and, under ordinary circumstances, something completely different later because much of the final interpretation happens at runtime. Mojo variables are strongly typed, even when the programmer allows the compiler to infer the type instead of writing it explicitly. Once the compiler understands a native Mojo variable as an integer, assigning an unrelated string to that same variable is not simply another operation to perform later. It is a type error the compiler can reject before the program runs. This matters because Mojo wants to specialize functions, reason about memory layouts, remove unnecessary runtime checks, and generate code specifically suited to the hardware underneath it. The more information the compiler possesses beforehand, the more aggressively it can transform a program. Python's dynamic behavior deliberately leaves many of those answers open until execution. Full source compatibility, therefore, means preserving behaviors that can hide information at precisely the moment Mojo's compiler wants that information most. Python classes reveal the conflict in an even more dramatic form. A Python class is not merely a fixed block of fields and methods known permanently to the compiler. Class bodies execute code. Attributes can be discovered at runtime, methods can be added or replaced, inheritance can change method lookup, and metaprogramming can alter what an object appears to be while the program is running. Modular engineers were discussing this problem as early as 2023. They noted that complete Python compatibility could require full hash table-style dynamism, while systems programming benefits from constrained structures the compiler can understand and optimize. Native Mojo structs, therefore, travel in the opposite direction. Their fields are declared with types, their structure is known at compile time, and that knowledge allows the compiler to generate efficient code without repeatedly asking an object what it contains. Mojo's current roadmap now places dynamic, object-oriented features such as untyped variables, classes, inheritance, and richer runtime dynamism in a later phase. The message is subtle but important. Python's dynamic model is still valuable, but Mojo no longer needs to recreate all of it before the rest of the language can become useful. Then there is parallelism, where vague rules become dangerous very quickly. Python historically protected much CPython execution with the global interpreter lock. One reason ordinary Python programs did not simply turn every CPU core into an independent worker operating on Python objects at once. Mojo is being designed for a world in which massive parallelism is not an unusual optimization, but part of the basic environment. On GPUs, thousands of threads may execute related pieces of a calculation while reading and writing memory whose layout and synchronization must be understood precisely. Mojo exposes concepts such as thread blocks, warps, barriers, memory scopes, and explicit synchronization because a race condition on a GPU can produce results that change depending on timing. Ownership and restrictions on mutable aliasing become more valuable in this environment, because the compiler must reason about who can change a value and when. Python's permissive object behavior is comfortable when a runtime is mediating much of the work, but it becomes much harder to preserve when code is being lowered toward machines whose performance depends on predictability. Thread safety, memory safety, and parallel performance begin pulling the language towards stronger guarantees rather than greater runtime freedom. GPU programming may be the strongest reason Mojo could never remain merely a faster implementation of Python. Modular was not trying only to make a Python loop execute more quickly. The company wanted one language capable of expressing ordinary application logic, high-performance numerical code, and kernels that execute directly on accelerators. Mojo was built around MLIR, the compiler infrastructure originally developed inside Google and led in part by Chris Lattner before becoming an LLVM project. MLIR provides layers of intermediate representations that can progressively transform high-level programs toward different hardware targets. Mojo now supports GPU programming across NVIDIA, AMD, and Apple Silicon, allowing programmers to express GPU kernels without making the language itself dependent on CUDA or ROCm as its programming model. Accelerators, however, are poor environments for unconstrained dynamism because hardware needs concrete information about memory, types, layouts, and execution before enormous amounts of parallel work can be scheduled efficiently. A dictionary lookup that feels harmless in an ordinary Python program becomes a very different proposition when multiplied across thousands of GPU threads. The more Mojo pursued heterogeneous hardware, the less sensible it became to make unrestricted Python semantics the foundation beneath everything. This does not mean Modular abandoned Python. In fact, the solution is more practical than trying to force both languages into one perfect semantic shape. Mojo can call ordinary Python packages through CPython, which means a Mojo program can still import libraries from the existing Python ecosystem instead of waiting for them to be rewritten. Python can also call exported Mojo code, allowing performance-sensitive pieces of an application to move into Mojo while the rest remains Python. When Python's full dynamism is required, Python object acts as an explicit boundary where Mojo knows it is dealing with Python runtime behavior rather than pretending that the value is an ordinary statically understood Mojo type. This creates a controlled doorway between two worlds, rather than requiring every room in the building to obey both sets of rules simultaneously. It resembles the migration strategy Lattner had already experienced at Apple when Swift was introduced alongside Objective-C. Developers did not have to rewrite everything on the first day, because the old and new systems could communicate while the newer language established its own identity. The significance of Mojo's retreat from the strict superset promise is therefore easy to misunderstand. It is not evidence that Python was the wrong starting point, because Python gave Mojo a familiar syntax, access to the dominant AI ecosystem, and a migration path for developers who already have enormous codebases. The conflict appeared because Mojo's ambitions expanded downward into territory where Python was never designed to live. Ownership demands knowledge of lifetimes. Static compilation benefits from knowing types. Memory safety requires restrictions on which references may mutate the same data. GPU programming rewards predictable layouts and compile time specialization. Parallel execution requires explicit rules about coordination and shared state. Python's great cultural achievement came partly from allowing programmers to ignore many of those concerns until they actually mattered. Mojo's challenge is that, for the kind of software it wants to build, they matter almost immediately. That is why the most important sentence in Mojo's current roadmap may be the one admitting that the language might never become a complete Python superset. 3 years earlier, such a statement would have sounded like surrender. After Mojo 1.0, it sounds more like the language discovering what it is. Python remains the front door, the syntax people recognize, the ecosystem Mojo can call into, and one of the communities Modular most wants to serve. But behind that door is now a language built around ownership, compile time specialization, memory safety, native systems programming, and heterogeneous hardware. Modular has chosen to finish that foundation before chasing every dynamic feature Python accumulated over decades. The superset dream has not necessarily disappeared, but it no longer sits above the language itself. Mojo must first become strong enough that Python programmers have a reason to cross the boundary at all. And perhaps that was the architectural truth hidden inside the original promise from the beginning. To extend Python into places Python could never comfortably reach, Mojo first had to become something more than Python.